4 years ago, I had a dream that I was going to host a live Web3 event, and on March 12th, 2023, that dream became a reality. My name's Tyler. Many of you know me as Chief, and today I want to tell you guys a story about how esports has changed my life and changed the direction of Web3 gaming forever. I can remember the first time I experienced pure, unadulterated bliss. I was 12 years old, and no, it's not what you're thinking. I was playing Warcraft 3 for the first time, and I realized I can play video games against anyone, anywhere around the world at any time. The more I played, the better I got, and the competitive feeling really grew inside of me. I really started to love playing games more than ever before. I loved PvP. After a couple years of playing Warcraft 3, I took a little break. I started watching StarCraft, the original OG esports that you could watch. And then I decided to go into Halo. The big difference with Halo was I got to speak to people, in the mic. We were always talking, we were hanging out, we were on calls for hours. And it opened up a whole bunch of new doors. So we started making all the friends. We started practicing, we got really good eventually. We started going to LAN events. And this is when I really experienced what true fun is. I've never experienced anything like a LAN event. And that feeling really stuck with me for the rest of my career. Sadly, after a couple years of Halo, they brought out Halo Reach. It was absolutely horrible, and most of us quit playing. So I decided to put my focus and my time into competitive sports, and I started doing basketball, football, and kind of tried the regular way of things. I'd been raised by an amazing mother in California, but I didn't have much of a father figure growing up. He was always in Germany. So I received an opportunity to head over there for 6 months, and I grabbed my dog, and I took it. I ran over, and I wanted to give it a shot. I quickly realized, while spending a lot of time with my dad, we were like best friends. So it really helped me. I finally had a man in my life. Within a month, I had a girl. So I was, had a girlfriend, had a dad. Everything was pretty much perfect. Life was great. I even got my first 9-to-5 job. I hated it, but I felt like I was growing up, becoming a man. So there was that. So with everything going well, as it usually is in life, the universe finds a way to knock you back down. So I'm out there playing basketball, and a freak accident happens, and my knee gets torn up. Not able to compete, not able to work, not able to do anything. What does the gamer do? He goes back to games. So I started playing Clash Royale. It was a cell phone game at the time, and I was given a clan, a fairly good clan, fairly quickly, and I decided, you know what, let's take this and let's do esports again. So I went out, I started recruiting players, and it was funny, the first kid I recruited was 12. So his journey kind of started right where mine did. I'll never forget the first time I had to talk to his parents, because they're like, who's this 25-year-old weirdo on the internet? What is he wants to pay you to play video games? And his dad was a cop. So that was an interesting call. But it went well. We got a team together. We started playing. We started competing again. We were really good. We even had a 3-month streak where we didn't lose one competitive match. And then came the big one. So the biggest tournament of our career was coming up. We were feeling good. We were one of the favorites. We see the group, and it's the group of death, of course. So 6 teams, 5 of them could have won any of the other groups, and we ended up getting 3rd. Top 2 made it out. Heartbreaker, but again, when you win, you don't learn as much. You learn a lot more when you lose. So I took this as another opportunity to learn, and it reinvigorated my need to compete and to get that title the next time. So the universe then brought me Axie Infinity, and this is where my Web3 journey would begin. Soon after, I got news that my father had been beaten up by some hoodlums. And sadly, the next day I was the one that found him dead on the side of the street. Although my girlfriend had been very supportive through the injury, through my father's passing, not too much later, she also packed her bags and left. So as you can imagine, it was kind of a dark time. The universe works in strange ways. Right before you're about to achieve success, the universe will test you and try to get you to quit. Most quit. Make sure you keep fighting. So I had to find something to put my focus into. I had to find something to do. I didn't want to fall down the rabbit hole. So I decided this is where I'm going to go full-time Web3. I was passionate about it. I woke up every morning, and this is what I wanted to do. So my business partner and I started in Axie, and we built a breeding bot. Any of you that know Axie, they had to bring in some changes. So they added SLP, they added mutations to the breeding. You know, we basically broke the game. It was a good time. We went on, we founded Axie GG, which was the first guild in Web3. And me, the esports guy, I started recruiting players from other games to try to, win the tournaments that I was holding in Axie. I got a player from Magic the Gathering, a very well-known game. He came over, and he was doing really well. And quickly I realized, wow, all my assets are safe. I told my partners, and soon after, the biggest moment in Web3 gaming happened, and the scholarship system was created. At the time, we had no idea how big it was going to be. At the peak, it reached over 2.5 million people, most of them in the Philippines, and it was absolutely insane. So while all this madness was happening, while everyone was freaking out, making money, I was still there, focused on esports, like always. So I went back and I got my 12-year-old from Clash, now he's a bit older, and I said, Indez, you need to come out, you need to play this game. He finally listened, he came over, he became the GOAT of V2, Axie. He won about 90% of the tournaments he was in, and we were dominating. So Axie GG had achieved everything and more that I'd ever expected or ever wanted, and I decided to take a step back and decide, plan on the next thing we were going to do. Never underestimate someone who takes a step back. It may just mean they're taking a running start. We decided to found Esports for Everyone, and we wanted to come out with a bang. So I said, you know what? Let's do tournaments every single day, but let's do 2 of them. My team looked at me like, bro, you're crazy. We can't do that. I was like, yeah, we can. We got this. And I knew this was going to be a time of major growth, and I had to, learn quick and fail fast. To do this many tournaments, you need some money. So we went out and we started looking for sponsors. And the first major Axie tournament that was run not from Sky Mavis was sponsored by Whale Shark. Anyone in the NFT space probably knows of him or has heard of him. Big shout out to you, Whale, if you're watching this. He's been supporting me ever since. He's become a good friend of mine, a mentor, and he's really been there for me the whole journey. YGG, Community Gaming, also a big shout out to you guys for putting on this amazing event. They've also been supporting me for a very long time. And I learned something. Standing on the shoulders of giants gives you a much clearer view of the land. So with all this amazing support E3 was getting, we achieved some pretty cool milestones. We were the first organization to do auto payouts on Community Gaming's auto payout system online, or in crypto. We've held over 1,000 tournaments to date, and we were privileged enough to work with Method, which is a large Web2 clan, and bring them into the Web3 space and work hand in hand with them. But my personal goal was always to hold a live event. So it would come sooner than expected as AxieCon came around the corner, and there was a $1 million prize pool for a Web3 game out of nowhere, and I knew it. This is where, the game changes forever for Web3. Going to AxieCon was an absolute marathon. From day one, parties, managing, I had players there, we were networking. It was absolutely insane, and it was one of the best times of my life. That was the first time that the Web3 people really got together, at least in the Axie community, at that scale. And it was definitely a memorable weekend. We made it to Sunday, the large tournament, and I actually had a player playing in the grand finals, Thunderstruck, playing for $75,000. Not too bad for a 20-year-old kid. And even though he lost, I was standing there, and my dreams were coming true. in front of my eyes. It was absolutely incredible. And the best part was, the good news was still coming. Axie then put up a $2.4 million grant to allow people like ourselves at Esports for Everyone to put on tournaments and to give people opportunities to compete. I grabbed my partners, Method and Tribally, and we said, all right, it's game time, this is our chance. We said we can build communities, well, here's our opportunity to get some real money and to do it. The first part of our challenge was gonna be the Axie Masters League in the Philippines. We'd put together a grueling, intense 3-phase format, and the LAN live final turned out to be extremely competitive. And going to the Philippines, feeling the power, feeling the energy there is absolutely incredible. They have truly adopted the Web3 movement, and if you ever have a chance to go there to an event, I highly recommend it. So, Axie Masters League was a success. We were really fortunate to work with Method because we got to learn about how live events work and all the work that comes into it, because our event was next. The next months were absolutely grueling. The amount of work you have to do for an event like this is insane. So again, community gaming, 3XP, everyone involved, amazing work. It's been a great event so far. But when you finish something like this, it's also the most fulfilling feeling you will ever experience, because the work pays off, and at the end of the day, you can sit here and be proud. So my team, they really put their hearts and souls into it. I'd flown people in from Germany, England, North America, Korea, Thailand, for technical team, the talent roster, and we had one goal. We wanted to put on the best show that Web3 has ever seen. After countless pivots, technical difficulties, and last-minute decisions, the stage was set. 7 countries were playing 2 games over 3 days for over $70,000. We had a stacked lineup of meet and greets and VIP parties, and I really couldn't have been happier with the. So the show ended. I went outside. I grabbed my brother Nilo. He'd been with me every step of the way, and we just kind of broke down in tears of joy and happiness. We did it. So the greater the challenge, the greater the satisfaction. Don't rob yourself of your greatest moment. Make sure to reach for the stars. We've come a long way as a movement. The era of Web3 gaming is just beginning. I hope you can all take this story and write your own chapters in the coming years. There's opportunity everywhere we look in this space, and those who focus and innovate in the years to come will also be able to leave their mark on the future of gaming. Thank you guys very much for having me. If you're ever in Vietnam, if you want to start something out there, hit me up. We're working hard, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend.